Morning, Quadcopter 101 here, and today's shout out goes to Guru Music. Guru Music was first to say first in one of my recent videos, and thus wins this shout out, so congratulations. Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here, with a review of a neat new drone, the LH-X70 Flying Whale. And by its name, it really is a flying whale. Look at the shape of this thing, folks. This is an interesting looking drone. That's why I was interested in reviewing it, because of the shape mainly, but also because of what it supposedly can do. This is supposedly capable of flight in both air mode, where it can fly, ground mode, where it can go over the ground, and even water mode, where it can fly in the water, not fly, but actually float on water and move on water. It's available both in blue and in green. So, if you don't like the blue color, there is a green color. It also has LED lights on the front and on the back somewhere, I believe. No, maybe those aren't LED lights. Those look like screw lights there, but it does have bright LED lights in the front. Now, the way this thing flies, when it is flying, because of the shape, if you look at it, it flies at an angle, folks. It flies like this, with the front end of the whale up in the air and the back end of the whale toward the back. There is no altitude hold in this drone, so it'll be somewhat difficult for beginner flyers to fly this, but I do recommend learning to fly without altitude hold for those of you that are intending to transition to FPV flyers, FPV racers. None of those have altitude hold, folks, so you got to learn someday how to fly without altitude hold if you intend to fly those type of drones, okay? And this cheap drone, and I think this is currently running around the $20 price range, would be something applicable for you to learning throttle management without throttle. And I'll talk about that here shortly when we talk about the controller. It's also waterproof since it's going in the sea, and because of it being waterproof, that's another reason, or actually that is the main reason that this does not have altitude hold. It's all sealed up inside the electronics, so there's no actual pressure sensor. The pressure sensor would not work, in other words, if you put one in here to maintain the altitude, automatically maintain altitude. So that's the reason why there's no altitude hold in this particular drone. But it is capable of flying, again, without altitude hold. It's capable of doing flips also. So it'll do forward and backward flips. However, I don't think it's capable of doing right or left flips because how close these rotor blades are to each other. There's not enough moment between them to provide enough oomph to do right and left flips. But it can, again, do forward and back flips. It's also capable of doing both orbit mode, where it will spin around like this, and also, or at circle mode, and also orbit mode, where it will go around a position. It'll do that too. So we'll demonstrate that here shortly. In ground and sea mode, it's only capable of going forward and turning right or left. It can't fly backwards because of the pitch angle of this. So when this is scooting about on the ground, it's sliding around on the ground surface like so, or on the water surface like so, and also then turning right or left. So we'll demonstrate that too. Now this is available with either 1 or 2 batteries. These battery sizes are 3.7 volt, 850 milliamp per hour. Supposedly gives it about 7 minutes of flight time. We'll see if that's true. But one thing about it, it can only, with what they give you here, this charger, it can only be charged inside the drone through that charging port right there, okay, using this charger. This charger, you can't directly charge the battery. Now, that's a problem, and the reason that's a problem is this battery is held in place by 4 screws. So if you want to change the battery out in between flights and charge it up, or change the battery out, you got to remove all 4 of those screws with this little screwdriver, or else maybe just remove 1 or 2 of these screws before you go flying, and just keep it in place by 2 screws. But in effect, you have to use this screwdriver to change the batteries out in the field if you want to change the battery. And also to charge this up, you have to put another battery inside the drone and charge it inside the drone. So that makes it an issue. The batteries. So, if you are thinking about this, I don't know about the suitability of getting 2 of these batteries unless you have your own charger that can charge these 3.7 volt white low C connector type style batteries. So that's what the drone can do. Let's go over what you get in the package. You get the instruction manual. Think about this instruction manual. It's really, really tiny print. You are, us older folks like me, are going to need a magnifying glass to read that. So just keep that in mind. You get the drone itself. You get a full spare set of propellers. You get a one or two of these batteries, depending if you ordered a second battery with it, but to be bundled with it. You get the charger for the batteries. You get a screwdriver, and you get the controller. Now let's go over the controller. The buttons on this controller. This button here is for increasing the rates or speed of the drone. 1, 2, or 3 presses, and it will increase the speed of the drone. This is your flip button. One press, and you can tell the drone to flip either forward or backward by moving the right stick forward and backward. This is your orbit or circle or orbit by a quick press for circle and a long press for orbit mode. This is ground mode here. By pressing that, it enters into ground mode. Or not, I'm so sorry, folks. This is air mode for flying. You press it once and it enters in air mode. You can fly it. For ground mode, you press this button once and it's capable of scooting over the ground. And for sea mode, you press this button once and that's for adjusts the motor speeds for flying or for going in the water. These modes are here are for trim, forward and back trim, right and left trim. And of course, this is your throttle, yaw, pitch, and roll. And notice again that this throttle stick is not spring-centered, so that means, again, this does not have altitude hold. You are going to need to learn throttle management to fly this drone. So for beginner flyers, again, if you're intending someday to go to FPV racers, this would be appropriate for you. But for most beginner flyers, they might have some difficulty flying this because they have to learn throttle management. So, okay, let's take this first in my basement, and then we'll take it out into probably my front yard and show how it can fly. And then we'll try to do the ground mode and the sea mode too. So, hope you enjoy these flights, drive, and swim, folks. See ya. Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here, and welcome to the indoor test flight of the LH-X70 down in my basement. We're going to just do a short flight just to demonstrate it flying around indoors. I won't really be able to do much flips. I'm not even going to try to do flips indoors because I don't know how high this thing actually goes in between flips. But we'll just do a short flight, demonstrate flying it indoors, and then we'll take it outdoors and then also do the ground and sea. So hope you enjoy these flights. Let's get started by first turning it on. There's an on-off switch right there on the left side of the drone, on the opposite side from the charging port. Press it and hold it until the lights come on, the LED lights, and then put it on a flat level surface, like my launching pad here. Okay, then we turn on the controller like so, and we are ready to go right away. It automatically binds right away. Now again, this thing does not have altitude hold, so expect me to be going up and down a bit as I learn the throttle management of this particular drone. Let me also get on my knees. I like to fly on my knees, get on the same level as the drone. So giving it throttle, pushing it up, and seeing how stable it is. Any trim needed. A little bit of right trim, obviously. And that should be it. Okay, it seems to be trimmed up somewhat. Let's take it around the stanchion. Now again, you beginner flyers, you're going to have to learn throttle management with this. See, I'm having a little bit of problem with myself. It's been a while since I've flown one without altitude hold. But it comes back. Whoa. I'm in a low rate. Let me go to higher rate, folks. Put it down here. Let's go to second rate. Where's that rate switch? Second rate. Let's see if that helps a bit. The yaw was a little bit too slow in that. That's better. So again, let's bring it around. And we're upside down. So hold on, folks. See, these ones without altitude hold, you need some space to do this. They're best flown outdoors is what I'm trying to say, folks. This one actually might be kind of fun outdoors. I can't wait to try it outdoors because I think this one will be a great flyer. Seems to be responsive enough. Let's bring it up close to us, and see it go up a bit higher. And rotate it that way, rotate it that way. Let me get the feel for this thing, and we'll eventually take it outdoors. Coming toward us. And going around the stanchion one more time. And there I go again. Okay. Before I break it, let's take it outdoors where this thing needs room to fly. Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here, and welcome to the test flight of the LH-X70F. Okay, to start this up, all we need to do is hit its on-off switch, which is right here, and hold it down for a few seconds, and then put it on a flat level surface, like so. Then turn on the transmitter, and it's ready to go right away. It binds right away. So let's take to the air and see how it flies. Well, there it is, folks. I'm in lowest rate right now. Do a flip. Bring it over here. Try to maintain level altitude with this thing. It's kind of heavy, because it's kind of heavy right now. It does have a little bit of what they call vortex ring state. Goes up and down, but let's do another flip. Another flip. Let's go to higher rate. Whoa. Trying to maintain a steady altitude is kind of hard. But let's get it in forward flight. See if it flies forward. There we go. Let's bring it close so you can see it. So yeah, it's a wonky little thing, ain't it? Give it more throttle there. It is kind of, like I said, kind of difficult to maintain a steady altitude with this. Even if you're experienced, because it'll settle. And it also will climb too, uncommandedly. Or that's not a word, uncommandedly. There, I'm trying the yaw rate on it at high rate. But let's see if it flies faster. Whoa. You know, pushing it back. There's no wind today, folks. I'd say if there was any wind, this one would have quite a bit of problem flying. Bring it a little closer here. Flip it. Flip it. Now, again, it can't flip right or left, just forward and backward. Weird looking thing. But yeah, I'll tell you right now, beginners would probably have a little bit of difficulty flying this for a bit, the way it goes up and down. But weird looking thing. Now, again, in ground mode and water mode, those modes decrease the amount of current going to the motors, so that don't take to the air, and it just slides along the ground or puddles along in the water. Even though the water mode is even less current than the ground mode, because there's going to be a lot more drag on the motors, or not drag, resistance to turning those propellers in the water. So I'm going to try to demonstrate those here in my house. Probably doing the water mode in my bathtub. So, there it is. See, you can hold it steady after a little bit of practice. You figure out what you need to do to keep it at a steady altitude. You don't want to go too much on the throttle or too little on the throttle, because it'll settle like that, or it'll climb up high like that, uncommanded. You got to be. Now again, let me give it more throttle. More throttle. There, I touched the ground. Weirdest thing I've ever seen is this thing. Weird. One more. Flipper. Does do flips well. Oop, hit the ground again. It's an early morning here. It's actually Easter Sunday here. And there's no wind. That's why I had to come out here. No wind at all. Yeah, this one would have problems with wind. I can tell you that right now. But flying whale, one of the weirdest drones I've seen. I've seen weirder. I'm trying to remember the ones that are weird. There's one that looked like a soda can, if I remember correctly. We're going to see how much flight time we can get with that 850 milliampere hour battery. I don't expect much flight time at all, because this seems to be kind of heavy. Kind of a heavy drone. There we go again. Okay, for the remainder of this flight, let's try to keep it level. Careful, careful. No more, okay, there's no more flip ability on it. That means the battery is starting to get low. Notice how low the sun is right now. So again, it is early morning, Easter Sunday, here in Erie, PA. And no, I'm not going to take this down to Lake Erie. A bass might eat it. Weird little drone. I like weird drones. I like to try them out. If it's different, if I haven't seen it, anything like it before, I want to try it. Again, that's why I picked this one. Here, let's get it down lower. Look at the thumbnail of this thing. I don't know if that thumbnail will come out or not. But, oh look, I'm holding it steady. Weird little drone. Okay, it's starting to flash. Oh, it does have telemetry warning. That's interesting. It has power telemetry warning, warning you that battery's getting low. Power telemetry. Lights are flashing on the front. Yeah, those lights are flashing. Let's just spin it. And we'll see what the full flight time is. And that's it, folks. That's flight time you get with the LH-70F. So, interesting flyer. Interesting flyer indeed. Indoors, you're going to have problems holding this from hitting the ceiling, but outdoors, if you got the room, you can fly it. So, hope you enjoyed this flight. This is Quadcopter 101. Signing out. Let's see if we can demonstrate this next on the ground and in my bathtub. So, hope you enjoy the second part of these flights, or test drive and test float. Signing out. Good morning, Quadcopter 101, and welcome to Quadcopter 101's garage for the test drive of the LH-70F. Okay, to put this into ground mode, you got to press this center button right there. Okay, and it should be in ground mode, and we should be good to go. I already turned that on. It's already bound to the controller, and let's give it a drive and see how it goes in my garage. Now, you need to have a nice smooth surface to drive this. Okay, if it's rough, like on a asphalt, it's not going to work. Same goes with carpet. But, actually, this is kind of fun. It slides around, give it a little more throttle. It works actually well. It's kind of fun. Cool. I didn't think it'd work well, but it is kind of fun. The car mode, at least. Whoa! And I flipped it. Hold on, I'll go get it. Give it another shot. Okay, I flipped it back up again. We're ready to go. Go for some more fun. So when you crash into something, it will flip. You learned that. Slide and turn. It can only go forward now. Remember that, folks. Let's try something real quick. Turn it around and go to air mode real quick. Go in air mode too. Well, my garage. Okay, go back to grab mode. Now I want to save some power because we still got to do the test drive in my bathtub. So we'll try that next, folks. But this is the ground mode. And again, you need a smooth surface. This will not work on carpet, obviously, and it doesn't work on asphalt. I already tried it. So just let you know. Okay, let's call it quits now. Let's try it in the bathtub. So hope you enjoy the next part of this demonstration. Okay, there you go, folks. There it is working in boat mode. Now, I hit this button here to put it into boat mode. But one thing about it in boat mode, it doesn't turn very well, as you can see here. Okay, turn to the right. Now, if you turn this off, notice that the throttle is all the way down in boat mode. It's always moving forward, because if you turn it off, it'll sink. I heard that. So you want to get this bound as soon as possible in boat mode. But boat mode is nowhere near as fun as flying it or driving it in your garage. This one's just not as fun. So that's it. Just a quick demonstration showing it working in the Quadcopter 101 indoor boat facility. So hope you enjoyed these demonstrations. This is Quadcopter 101 signing out. Hi, Quadcopter 101 here again. Hey, if you want to get your own shout out in one of my future videos, make sure you subscribe to my channel. It's real simple. Just go to my channel page and click on that subscribe. And also make sure to click that bell button right next to the subscribe button. That way you get notified when I release a brand new video immediately and give you a chance to get that first shout out. So give it a try, folks.